This event shook Hollywood to its core. An explosive confrontation unfolded on the set of The Bee's Nest, Samantha Bee's razor-sharp talk show known for its biting commentary. Tom Cruise, the iconic actor revered for his charisma and blockbuster films, stepped into the studio to promote his latest action epic, Horizon's Edge. What began as a routine interview spiraled into a clash that left audiences stunned and social media ablaze. Nobody was prepared for the firestorm that erupted when Bee's provocative tactics collided with Cruise's unyielding principles. This wasn't just an interview. It was a battle of wits, dignity, and truth that would go down in history. Watch until the end to see how it all unfolded, and share your thoughts in the comments. The studio of The Bee's Nest buzzed with electric anticipation. Blinding spotlights swept across the sleek, modern set, illuminating a circular stage where two leather chairs faced each other like gladiators' posts. The live audience, a mix of eager fans and curious onlookers, whispered excitedly, their murmurs rippling through the air like a gathering storm. Tom Cruise, dressed in a tailored navy suit, exuded his signature charm, his warm smile contrasting with the faint tension in his jaw. Known for his sincerity and relentless work ethic, he was Hollywood's golden son, an icon who balanced blockbuster stardom with quiet philanthropy. Opposite him sat Samantha Bee, her sharp eyes glinting behind a cold, calculated smile. Known for her biting humor and unrelenting questions, Bee thrived on pushing boundaries, often at the expense of her guests. Behind the cameras, producers exchanged nervous glances, sensing the brewing tension. The stage was set, and the air crackled with the promise of something unforgettable. The interview began with the usual fanfare. Samantha Bee leaned forward, her voice dripping with mock enthusiasm. "Tom, welcome to The Bee's Nest. Horizon's Edge, another action flick where you save the world while looking ridiculously good. Tell us, how do you keep pulling it off?" The audience chuckled, and Cruise flashed his megawatt grin, launching into a polished spiel about the film's intense stunts and global stakes. His passion was infectious, and the crowd leaned in, hanging on his every word. But Bee wasn't here for pleasantries. Her smile tightened, and she cut in abruptly. "Okay, Tom, let's get real. You've built this image, heroic, untouchable Mr. Perfect. But some say it's all a front. There's talk you've been dodging questions about your charity foundation. Is it true it's more about tax breaks than saving lives?" The question landed like a grenade. The audience gasped, a few nervous laughs punctuating the silence. Cruise's smile faltered, his eyes narrowing slightly, but he kept his composure. "I'm proud of the work my foundation does," he replied, his voice steady but laced with an edge. "We've helped thousands, clean water initiatives, disaster relief. It's not about headlines, it's about impact." He leaned forward, locking eyes with Bee. "You know that if you looked at the numbers instead of chasing rumors." Bee raised an eyebrow unfazed. "Oh, come on, Tom. Numbers can be fudged. People are saying it's a shiny PR move to keep you in the spotlight. Care to clear that up?" The audience shifted uncomfortably, sensing the shift from playful to predatory. Cruise's jaw tightened, but he forced a smile, his voice calm yet firm. "I don't need to justify my work to you, Samantha. The results speak for themselves." Bee leaned back, her smirk widening as if she'd caught him in a trap. "Results, huh? Let's talk results. Your career's been a roller coaster, huge hits, but also whispers of Scientology pulling strings behind the scenes. Is that why you're so untouchable? A little help from powerful friends?" The accusation was a low blow, and the audience's murmurs grew louder, a mix of shock and unease. A producer in the wings shook her head, whispering to a colleague, but Bee pressed on, relishing the discomfort. Cruise's face hardened, his eyes blazing with restrained anger. "Samantha, I've been in this industry for decades because I work hard and respect my audience," he said, his voice low but cutting. "My beliefs are personal. You want to talk about my work? Fine. But this is a cheap shot." The crowd erupted in scattered applause, some cheering his defiance, others whispering in anticipation of Bee's next move. She didn't miss a beat. "Cheap shot? Oh, Tom, I'm just asking what everyone's thinking. You're this polished icon, but let's be honest, your whole hero shtick feels like a script. Are you ever real with us, or is it all just a performance for the cameras?" Her tone was laced with sarcasm, and she gestured to the audience, inviting them to join her skepticism. A few laughed nervously, but most sat frozen, the tension palpable. Cruz's hands clenched briefly on the armrests, but he took a measured breath. "You want real? I'm here talking about a film I poured my heart into. I show up, I do the work, and I don't play games with people's trust. Can you say the same?" His words were sharp, a direct challenge, and the audience gasped, some clapping in support. Bee's smile faltered for a split second, but she recovered quickly, leaning in closer. "Oh, I'm very real, Tom," she shot back, her voice dripping with venom. "I'm real enough to call out the Hollywood machine that props you up. Your charity, your stunts, your whole man of the people act, it's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it? Admit it, you're just playing the game." The accusation hung in the air, and the studio fell silent, every eye on Cruz. The producers exchanged panicked looks, one whispering, "She's going too far." But Bee's eyes gleamed, she was in her element, thriving on the chaos. Cruz's face was a mask of controlled fury, but his voice remained steady, each word deliberate. "You're wrong, Samantha. I've spent my life building something real, films that inspire, causes that matter. You can twist it all you want, but you're not tearing that down." The audience erupted in applause, louder this time, their support for Cruz palpable. Bee's smirk twitched, her confidence shaken for the first time. Text on screen. "What would you say to Samantha Bee right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments." The audience's reaction was electric. Some shouted encouragement to Cruz, others whispered about Bee's audacity. The air was thick with anticipation, and every viewer at home could feel it. Something big was coming. What would happen next? Would Cruz stay or walk away? Bee, sensing the crowd slipping away, doubled down. "Who I am? I'm the one asking the tough questions, Tom. You're the one dodging them. Let's talk about your foundation again. Millions in donations, but where's the transparency? Are you hiding something, or is it just bad bookkeeping?" Her tone was vicious now, each word a dart aimed at Cruz's integrity. The audience gasped, and a few boos echoed through the studio, a rare crack in Bee's usually loyal crowd. Cruz's patience was fraying, his voice low and intense. "You're fishing, Samantha. You've got no proof, just rumors you're spinning into a story. My foundation's books are open, check them. But you won't, because that doesn't fit your narrative." He leaned forward, his eyes burning with conviction. "I'm not here to play your game. I'm here to talk about my work, my art. You want to make this personal? That's on you." The crowd erupted again, their cheers drowning out Bee's attempt to interrupt. She waved a hand dismissively, her voice rising. "Art? Oh, please, Tom. You're a brand, not an artist. You churn out these blockbusters to keep your name in lights, and you use your charity to polish your halo. Own it." Her words were a calculated jab, designed to provoke, and the audience's murmurs grew louder, a mix of shock and disapproval. Cruz's face flushed, but he held his ground, his voice steady but laced with anger. "You're wrong, Samantha. I do this because I believe in it, because stories matter, because people matter. You can mock that all you want, but you're not touching what I stand for." His words carried a quiet power, and the audience leaned forward, hanging on his every syllable. Bee's smirk faded, her eyes narrowing as she realized she was losing control of the narrative. The studio of the Bee's Nest was on the brink of eruption. The tension that had been building between Tom Cruise and Samantha Bee had reached a critical point. The audience, torn between shock and awe, sat breathless as Bee, sensing her grip on the narrative slipping, launched a fiercer attack. Her eyes gleamed with predatory confidence, her voice sharper, like a blade poised to cut through Cruz's last defenses. "Tom, you say stories matter, people matter. But let's be honest, your stories sell tickets, and your people are just fans buying into your image. Do you ever think about how your films or your charity affect regular people, or are you just basking in the fame?" Her words were venomous, calculated to make Cruz doubt himself, and the audience doubt him. Cruz clenched his fists, his face a mask of restrained fury, but he didn't look away. "Samantha, you have no idea what you're talking about," he replied, his voice low but charged with power. "I've met people whose lives were changed by my work, not just films, but the foundation. Mothers who got clean water for their kids, families who rebuilt homes after disasters. You can call it PR, but I call it reality." The audience erupted in applause, their support a tangible wave rolling through the studio. Some shouted, "Go, Tom!" while others whispered, struck by his passion. Bea, however, didn't back down. She leaned back in her chair, her smirk growing more sarcastic. "Reality? Oh, Tom, you live in a bubble. Your fans adore you, but doesn't it feel like your reality is just a well-directed fairy tale? You play the hero on and off the screen, but what if you're just an actor who forgot where the role ends?" Her words were a slap, and the audience gasped, sensing the line between interview and personal attack blurring. A producer in the wings shook her head, whispering, "This is too much. She's gone too far." But Bea, oblivious, reveled in the tension. Cruz took a deep breath, his eyes flashing, but he maintained his composure, his voice calm yet razor-sharp. "You want to know who I am, Samantha? I'm someone who believes in what I do. I don't hide behind roles or cameras. I'm standing here, open to you in this audience. But you? You hide behind your microphone, throwing accusations to get clicks and ratings. Who's playing a role here?" His words hit their mark, and the audience exploded in cheers, some standing, shouting support. Bea, for the first time that evening, looked rattled, her smile wavering, but she quickly regained her footing. "Clicks and ratings?" she retorted, her voice sharper, as if trying to reclaim control. "Tom, I'm just doing my job, asking the questions people want answers to. Like, why does your foundation guard its financial reports so closely? Is there something to hide, or is it just sloppy bookkeeping?" The audience gasped again, shocked by her audacity. A few boos rang out, a rare crack in Bea's usually loyal crowd. Cruz leaned forward, his eyes burning with resolve. "You're repeating yourself, Samantha. My reports are open, check them. But you won't, because the truth doesn't interest you. You need drama, you need a scandal. And you know what? I feel sorry for you, because that's all you've got." His words were a lightning strike, and the studio erupted in applause. Even some crew members in the wings nodded, impressed by his candor. Bea's lips tightened, her face flashing with anger for a moment, but she hid it behind another smile. The tension reached its peak, and the studio was a powder keg ready to explode. Bea, sensing the audience slipping away, made one last desperate move. "Sorry for me? Tom, you should be ashamed. You stand here, pretending to be a saint, but we all know the truth. Your career, your foundation, your image, it's all a facade. You're just an actor playing to the crowd, and I'm here to expose it." Her voice trembled with anger, but she held her head high, certain her words would hit their mark. But Cruz was ready. He stood from his chair, his posture straight, his voice steady as steel but brimming with emotion. "Enough, Samantha. I came here to talk about art, about hope, about what brings people together. But you use this stage to tear down, to rip apart what someone's built with love and belief. I won't let you demean me for your ratings." His words cut through the air, and the studio fell into absolute silence. Even Bea, always quick with a comeback, looked stunned, her eyes widening in shock. Cruz turned to the audience, his voice softening but no less powerful. "I do what I do because I believe in stories that inspire. I believe in people who deserve respect, not ridicule. And I won't stand here letting someone twist my truth for a show." He shifted his gaze back to Bea, his eyes burning with quiet resolve. "You've shown who you really are, Samantha. And it's not me who should be ashamed." The audience erupted in a standing ovation, some chanting his name, as Bea sat frozen, her smirk gone. Cruz adjusted his jacket, gave Bea one final look, and turned to the audience. "Thank you for your support. But I won't stay where respect is trampled for entertainment." With that, he walked off the stage, his steps echoing in the stunned silence. Cameras followed him until he disappeared backstage, leaving the studio in a state of shock. The audience whispered, some applauding, others simply dazed. B, left alone, tried to regain control. "Well, that was unexpected," she said, forcing a smile, but her voice shook. "Let's move to the next segment." Her words drowned in the audience's murmurs, still buzzing with what had just happened. This moment on the bee's nest became legendary, not just for the drama, but for what it revealed. Dignity can outshine provocation. Tom Cruise, faced with relentless attacks, stayed true to his principles, leaving the stage with his head held high. His refusal to play Samantha Bee's toxic game sent a powerful message: no one has the right to demean another for ratings. This clash exposed the dark side of talk shows, where boundaries of respect are often erased for sensation. But Cruise reminded everyone that true strength lies in self-respect and integrity. This event shook Hollywood, prompting many to rethink how media wields its power. Subscribe to catch more stories like this, and share your thoughts in the comments. Did Tom Cruise do the right thing by walking off the set, or should he have stayed to fight? What do you think of Samantha Bee's behavior? Was she justified in her questions, or was it pure provocation? Why do talk show hosts resort to personal attacks for ratings? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know whose side you're on.